Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is prospecting. One of the best things to think about is, what am I doing when I first get my click unit? So where you get your click unit, you pull it out, you're going to get trained on it, and then what we want to do is start making money. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start identifying people who we're going to go and talk to. One of the most important things I feel about not only sales, but candidly network marketing is, we're all doing this to make sure that we maximize how much money we're able to make, but also maximizing time. It doesn't do any good to, if our job is to break a wall down, to hit our head against the wall as hard as we can over and over again until the wall gets knocked down. There's efficient ways of doing things, and sales is no different. So first thing I do when I open up an area, or let's just assume that it's, you and you get your quick unit, is I actually can just drive around. I will get in my car, I will grab a notepad, and I'll go to the most densely, not populated, but I guess the main street of your city, wherever there's going to be the most businesses in a concentrated area. And then I will park my car, and I will write down the names of all the businesses that I see. Now, one of the things that I look for, actually that's not true, I don't write all of the names out. What I look for is I look for businesses that fit two criteria. And the first one is I don't write down all of the chains. No use for you to go after McDonald's because you're not going to get McDonald's. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage anybody, but, selling McDonald's is not the easiest thing on the planet. If it was, everybody would have done it. So, write down the names of businesses that are locally owned businesses. That's the first criteria. Second thing I look for is, does it look like they have money? Because it doesn't make any sense to get somebody who's completely broke all excited about something when they cannot pay you. So, that to me means looking at their logo. So this is truly what I do. Park my car and I'll look around and I'll say, okay, you got Mi Ranchito Mexican restaurant. If it looks like a graphic designer did the name or the logo, I will write them down. If it just says Mi Ranchito in big block letters and it doesn't look like anybody put any thought into the logo, I won't write them down. And not to say that it's impossible to ever sell anybody like that. However, I want to maximize my time. My goal is always sell a click unit every day. That's my goal. And that's what I'm able to do because I maximize my time. And so with the prospecting, first thing, don't write down any chain restaurants. Second thing, take a look and see if they have spent some time in their logo, which means they generally care about their business and generally have a little bit of money to spend on things like marketing. They care about that. Okay, so I will go and I will write down 100 businesses. That's what I'll do. I'll take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It might take half a day, but it certainly shouldn't take more than one day. So I'll write down all the businesses that I can. I'll just write them down on a piece of paper. Then I'll go home, and at night I will sit down, and while I'm watching the baseball game and drinking a Coke or whatever, I will get on Google or Yelp or Urban Spoon, and I will just Google all the businesses. From there, I will write down the names of the businesses. Usually I'll open up a spreadsheet, or you can just write it on a piece of paper right next to the business name. So I've got my list, I'm going through, I'm Googling all of these places, and I'm finding out the phone number. So I'm writing down the phone number next to all these businesses. Then what I'll do, let's just assume I have 100 businesses. After one day of working hard, I'll have a list of 100 businesses, and I will have Googled all of their phone numbers and stuff. So I have this list. So I wake up the next morning, and usually what I do is I wait until 10 o'clock. And the reason I wait until 10 o'clock is because, that's not also technically true, because if it looks like it's a breakfast joint, then I'll call a little bit earlier. So depending on when I think the businesses are going to be open and end up running, I will start making phone calls. So I'll start making phone calls, and I'll call, and I have a prospecting sales script that's in your back office. You can go and I work off of that sales script. There's two of these scripts. The first one is what I do when I make my initial phone call, and the second one is what I do once the decision maker gets on the phone. So I've made my list. I started making phone calls. This is very, very important. This philosophy, you're not trying to sell them anything over the phone. Let me repeat that. You are not trying to sell them anything over the phone.
Wendy.
If you try to sell them anything over the phone, what is going to happen is you are not going to get any bites because people are going to make the assumption that they can make an informed decision without actually sitting down and talking to you. Click is a system where you want people to actually not only see it, but type their cell phone number and get the text message and watch how the whole thing functions. That's what's going to sell them. But don't give them very much information over the phone. If someone says, I need more information, within the sales script, I actually have it written in there. Your whole goal is simply to, first off, get the name of the decision maker. Second thing, get that person on the phone. Now, it's important that you separate those two things. One, get the name of the decision maker. Why? Because if they're not there, you need to know who to call and who to ask for when you call back. So let's just go through a little scenario here. So I call up Mike's Burgers. Well, no, I'm not even going to say Mike's Burgers. That's too obvious. I'm going to call up Las Vegas Burgers. And so I call up Las Vegas Burgers. I say, hello. I say, hi. My name is Mike. I'm trying to get a hold of the general manager. Now, that's what I always say. And the reason why I say that is because if it's a small enough place, the general manager will be the owner. If it's not, if they have a general manager, then he or she is going to at least tell me who it is the decision maker is. Or it might be that person. In fact, frankly, oftentimes, the general manager will make the decision. So, I'm trying to get a hold of the general manager. And the person will usually ask, oh, yeah, no problem. May I ask who's calling? Now, this is one of the tricks. I say, yeah, this is Mike. Thanks. Now, I say thanks afterwards because for whatever reason, 90% of the time, if I say thanks after something, it signals to them that the conversation is over. And even though I didn't inform them about anything about me, I just said, yeah, this is Mike. I don't know. Maybe I'm their brother. Maybe I'm just a salesman, which I am. Doesn't matter to them. I said the word thanks, and so they just go, oh, okay. And they walk away and they hand the phone to the general manager. It happens 90% of the time. So, hi, I'm trying to get a hold of the general manager. Yeah, may I ask who's calling? This is Mike, thanks. That usually works 90% of the time. They'll walk over, they'll hand the phone to the general manager. Oh, this is Bob, or this is Sarah, or whatever. Now I know the name of the person. I write that down right before I say anything. Hi, this is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. My name is Mike. I'm the regional director for Savvy. I'm giving you a call to talk to you about putting you on our app for free. It's a great way to kind of expose your business. And also we have a couple of other interesting products I'd like to talk to you about. I'm wondering if you have 15 minutes in the next couple of days where I could swing on by and chat with you about it. That's all you say. That's it. If they say no, then hang up. Great. If they say, okay, sure, come by Thursday at 4. Wonderful. If they say, which a lot of times they will, what exactly is this? What they're trying to do, make sure that you recognize this. They're not actually wanting you to tell them more about it. What they're trying to do, they're saying that I'm busy, you're bothering me, and I'm trying to tell you that I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's what's going on. Just be very clear about that. So what I do is I give them exactly what they want, which is getting me off the phone. And I say, oh, we want to put you on our app for free. There's no obligation. Just wanted to talk to you about that. Some interesting other stuff that we got going on. Look, tell you what, why don't I can swing by your place. It'll take 15 minutes. And if you don't like what I have to say, you can kick me right out. No problem. That's what I say. And I always end it with, you can kick me right out, no problem. And the reason why I do that is to let them know that, look, I'm not going to be a pushy salesman. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. You're not going to get sucked into some, timeshare sales pitch, which everybody's a little bit afraid of getting into. We're not going to do that. That's not the way that we work. That's not the way that I work. I want that person to know for a fact that, look, if you don't like what I have to say, I'll move on because there's somebody else who's going to like what I have to say, and their money is just as green as yours. So, recap. Mike gets on the phone, or whoever. Bob gets on the phone. Hi, Bob. Yeah, my name is Mike. I work with the regional director of Savvy Direct. I want to talk to you a little bit about, actually I say Savvy, not Savvy Direct. Sorry. I'm the regional director for Savvy. Want to talk to you about putting you on our app for free. Also, we have a couple of other interesting products I might, talk to you a little bit about. Wondering if I could swing by Thursday at 2 o'clock to chat with you. And if you don't like what I have to say, you can kick me right out of your phone, no problem. Thursday or 2 o'clock works fine. Great, wonderful. I'll see you then. And hang up. That's it. You're done. You've done what you've accomplished, or you've accomplished what you're trying to do. Once again, we're not trying to sell these people over the phone. We're trying to set up a meeting. So, first thing we're trying to do, one, get the name of the decision maker. So let's assume that I make a phone call, and that decision maker is not there. Yeah, I'm trying to get hold of the general manager. Yeah, they're not in right now. So I take a message. Don't leave a message. They're not going to call you back. Unless you know them personally, they're not going to call you back. I will take that bet every time. I'm living in Las Vegas, and I will take that bet every time that they won't call you back. Now, every once in a while, somebody will. 95% of the time, they won't. So I'll take that bet. So you say, they'll say, can I leave a message? I say, you know what? No, I'll just give them a call back later. No problem. Oh, by the way, when I call back, who am I asking for? Sound like you're finishing up the conversation, and they go, oh, and by the way, who am I asking for? And they'll just go, oh, John. Oh, Sarah. Great, thanks, no problem. Talk to you later. Bye. And you just hang up. Because you mission accomplished. It's about these, when you're trying to sell click, when you're trying to sell anything, if you call up and you say, okay, well, my goal is to get them to sign on the dotted line. Well, that is true, but more importantly, honestly, is that you're trying to do simple things one little piece at a time. First thing you're trying to do, get the name of the decision maker. Second thing you're trying to do, set up a meeting with that decision maker. Then when you go in there, your job is to explain it to them, but that's a different story. So, let's recap everything real quick. I get my click units. I drive around. I write down the names of businesses that look like they would be good fits, which means non-chain restaurants and or, clothing stores, seafoods, whatever, okay? So I write down the name of all of these places that not only aren't chains, but second of all, looks like they pay attention to their marketing or advertising. I write down a whole list of them, 100 of them, go back home, drink a Coke while I Google all of their numbers. Write down all of their numbers. Next day, I start making phone calls. First goal, get the name of the decision maker. Second goal, try to set up a meeting with them. Now, last little bit of what I'm going to talk about here. And by the way, once again, all of these scripts are on your back end. So if you need to go into the back office and download them, you can. They're just there. Last thing I will say is, I piece people together into 4 categories. Okay? And this is something that I have to keep in my mind, or it's one of those things. It's easy to go crazy when you're out there prospecting and you're doing a lot of groundwork and the stuff is working out. But I keep this in the back of my head, which always makes me understand what's going on. There are 4 types of people out there. First types of people who are desperate. Okay, people who are like shutting down the business. They're just desperate. I don't know what's going on. And those types of people can be persuaded to buy a click unit. Now, generally speaking, they're going to be out of business in 3 months. Polka Dot Boutique was a wonderful little boutique of in Salt Lake City who fit into this category. I sold them a click unit. 3 months later, they went out of business. You can't collect money from a company that goes out of business because they declare bankruptcy. There's nothing we can do about that. So, although that was a sale that was made, wasn't the most ideal one because my residual income disappeared after 3 months. People who are desperate. Okay. Next people who are interested and shopping. Okay, these are your bread and butter people. People who aren't just so desperate they're just okay, I'll do whatever. But the people who will ask you some questions, think about it. Yeah, we've been thinking about doing some sort of loyalty program or some sort of social media something. A business that's doing pretty well, and is truly interested in what it is that you've got. These are the types of people you want to spend your time on. Identify these people. Spend time on them. It might take 2 or 3 days. Don Jorgensen, up in Salt Lake, closed the deal with one of these people. He was interested, and then the next day he had to come back and sold him the unit. So, it was a 2-day process, but he was able to sell him the unit. So, these are your bread and butter. People who are interested, people who are shopping, who say things like, yeah, I'm interested. Next types of people are the worst people on the planet. I'm telling you, these are the worst people on the planet. Those are the people who are polite, yet not interested. Because they will waste all of your time. These are the people who will have a meeting with you, sit down and talk to you. I was in Arizona, and there was a guy who was exactly like this, who owned a little, it's called Corner Cafe, Cozy Corner Cafe. There we go. The owner of Cozy Corner Cafe. Polite guy. Nice guy. He was a nice guy. And he sat down and talked to us for 1 hour about why it is that he doesn't try certain advertising and whatever. And he was just polite, and so he'd meet with us. But he wasn't actually interested in what I had to say. He didn't care. He just wanted to be polite and would just continue to talk to us forever. He wasted time. And he would continue to waste time. And you leave that place, you go, yeah, can I stop back in a couple of days? And the answer would be yes. You would meet with us again. And he's just wasting our time. He's not actually interested in what it is that we're done. So identify these people. These are the worst people because they will waste your time and they will make it so you're not making any money. Now, the fourth type of person is my second favorite type of person. And this is what I have to remind myself of. These are the people who just are going to say no matter what. And they exist. Up in Salt Lake, once again, the same trip over, this last week, that's why I'm bringing this up. Up in Salt Lake, walked into a furniture store. Started talking to her. She started kind of giving the, no, I don't know, I don't really like this. And then she started asking questions like, well, was there a contract? Yeah, there's a contract. She goes, I never do contracts. Well, that's a lie because she has a cell phone. That's also a lie because she has a business. You know what I mean? Anybody who has a business either has a contract for their retail space or is buying something. Okay? Nobody on this planet, unless you are a bum or independently wealthy, doesn't have a contract. So that's just a lie. Oh, I don't, But what that really told me, and then I actually stopped. The person I was with started kind of going to the sales. I said, stop. I said, look, are you actually interested in what I have to sell? And she was like, I don't know. Not really. Great. Thank you very much for your time. And I walked out. Okay, you're done. You're done. Find out these people because they're nice because no matter what, I could have given it to her for free. Hey, we have a cookie unit. How much does it cost? I'll pay you $50 a month just to have this in your store. Is there a contract? Are you kidding me? I'm paying you. There are people who are just plain old going to say no, and that's fine. Identify those people. Get them to say no as quickly as you can. High-five them and walk out of the business. Or high-five them and hang up the phone. That's fine. Everybody is going to get that. So, the 4 people you're looking for. And once again, the reason I bring this up is because when I talk about prospecting isn't the art of finding people. You can just find people and you can start pitching whoever the heck you want. But prospecting is about identifying the right types of people to be spending time and resources on. Okay? So, first types of people who are desperate. Yes, you can sell them units. Your money, your residual income will disappear after a little bit of time because these people generally won't be in business for very long. Second type of people, your bread and butter, the people who are interested, who are asking questions, who are generally shopping for something like this. They want to improve their business, so they want to do something like that. Okay, great, wonderful. Spend as much time as you want on these people. They're your bread and butter. Third types of people, the absolute worst. And those are the people who are going to be polite, won't just tell you no, but also aren't going to say yes. Identify those people and cut the cord as quickly as you possibly can. Stay away from those people. And then the next type of people, or my second favorite people, they're the people who are just going to say no because they're just people who are going to say no, and that's fine. Get them to say no quickly, move on, and go make some money. So, thanks everybody for listening. That's prospecting. Once again, prospecting is not just finding people. Prospecting is identifying the right people to be spending your time on. I have scripts in your back office where you can download those and take a look at those and use those when you are making phone calls. And also I have many other calls talking about prospecting as well. Thank you everybody for your time. And if you have any other questions, also you have my phone number. Also, my email is mhorne@savvydirect.com. That's MHORNE @savvydirect.com. Thank you, everybody.